So that is pretty much everything that we have on our end for you guys today. We are going to have our lovely, wonderful, amazing advisor that we would be nowhere without, Dr. Charlotte Waits, give a little talk about how to survive BME at UH. So round of applause if you would like.
Oh, not necessary. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I have so many slides for you. That's not true. I have none prepared. So basically, I just wanted this to be an opportunity for you to like just hit me with your questions. And then I can just try to, help motivate you to really take control of your career, your academic career, and be able to achieve your academic career or academic goals, so then that you can also really have a good career that you want in the future. First order of business is that I want to ask, did anybody get my email yesterday with the YouTube link from MECE 3400? Can someone just say yes in the chat or something? Okay, excellent. So it did actually go out. So you guys know that we actually have a new undergraduate academic advisor, and her name is Miss Jonay Boatwright. She's actually in on the call now. We're very, 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 very excited that she is with us. She has some advising experience. She worked with some medical students in the past, and so she's also hopefully going to be able to really, help our pre-med population as well. So very, very excited. I don't know if she's able to like just pop on and say hi, but we're very, very excited that she's here. So in the future, I will be transitioning back to just graduate students, and she will take over for the undergrads. But juniors and seniors, for consistency's sake, you guys are pretty much set, right? And you guys should know what you need to do to complete your degree plan. So excellent. Second order of business, I want you guys to like take a glance at who's here in the meeting, right? So there's 40 participants. Okay, there might be more now. And 2 advisors, right? And so that's at least 38 students, 39 students, depending on how many people are around, that you can use to help you get through your classes, right? It's a lot easier for you to say, hey, I forgot, what resource could I use to get me through circuits? Because circuits is such a difficult course. It's a lot easier for you to go to your classmates than it is to go to me, right? I didn't take circuits at the University of Houston. Miss Boatwright didn't take circuits at the University of Houston, right? But your classmates did. So, that email every semester, I try to send out that YouTube link for that Intro to Dynamics course from the professor at UT Austin. I didn't get that email. I didn't get that link from searching YouTube. I got that link from asking our senior class, say, hey, all of our students are struggling in this class. How did you get through it? And they said, oh, I watched YouTube, right? And so be able to utilize each other and take advantage of each other. That being said, don't cheat, right? I remember when I was doing my biomedical engineering experience, I was terrified, right? I was one of 4 freshmen taking calculus 3 and differential equations. And I was just watching all these upperclassmen. I didn't know where the building was. I spilled water all over my table one day. But the 4 freshmen realized that we were all terrified, and we formed together. And then every day we would do problems together. We'd do them separately, and then we would come together, and then we would just work it another time. And then we were like, oh, Charlotte, 2 + 3 is not 6. 2 × 3 is 6, right? And so then you'll just be able to really learn where you make the mistakes. And so that way, when you do the exams, you don't make those same mistakes again. Okay, so utilize each other, form those study groups, and just do every problem that you can. Okay, so I think I should be able to share my screen. Excellent. So the couple of things that I've been working on and I'm pretty proud of is our website, right? So I feel like I'm a broken record sometimes, and I'm essentially Google for a lot of your questions. And to save you time, to save me time, I did have the engineering web people create this new web page, right? So bookmark this because this is gonna help you figure out or like get to different resources that are available. So for example, if all of a sudden you can't get into your email address and you're like, oh, what's the link to UIT? Oh, it's not on every UH webpage anymore. Where is it? Oh, that's right. Dr. White's made this webpage, right? It's right here. So you can just click, University Information Technology and it's there, right? Okay. Pre-health advising center. Okay. If you're interested in the graduate school, we have that. If you're interested in doing the senior honors thesis, information is there too, right? CAPS. I cannot stress the importance of CAPS. There is nothing wrong, there's nothing shameful, and there is nothing negative about going to CAPS, okay? Guys, you can't be well academically if you can't focus and if you are not in a good, healthy mental space, okay? So be sure that you're taking care of yourself. CAPS, phenomenal. If you need it, go for it. I cannot stress how amazing it is that it is available to you guys. So take advantage of it. And then there's also Launch. They do the peer tutoring, right? So hopefully none of these resources are new to you, okay? Hopefully, hopefully everybody's at least like heard through the grapevine or you've read my very detailed emails and so you know about these opportunities as well. The Engineering Career Center, like your tuition money is going to them for them to help you find jobs. So when they say, oh, I don't know any jobs, you can nag them and say, well, can you help me look for them, okay? Don't make them just like sit down and do an Indeed.com search. You can do an Indeed.com search yourself, right? Have them review your resume, have them look at your LinkedIn profile, have them, look at those keywords and make them help you. You're paying them, you're paying their office with your tuition money. You deserve something out of it, okay? Okay. Also, another thing that I've started to do is I've got that LinkedIn group, which I know I hate LinkedIn, I hate social media, but it's what got me my job at the University of Houston, okay? So, internet's being slow. Okay. Okay, apparently Zoha started a job at Pfizer. Hey, look, people, Zoha started a job at Pfizer. So if you're interested in Pfizer, you can message her and say, hey, Zoha, congratulations on your job at Pfizer. How did you do it? And then she'll respond and she'll say, there are tons of opportunities for associate scientists at Pfizer. You should apply. Pfizer's great, right? So stuff like that. Okay, so this is the whole point. So we do have this group. Hopefully it'll load. I don't know why my computer is being ridiculous. So, okay, it's not very pretty, but you can see, look, Rogelio, you posted, good job. I found this new like Eurofins company today and 2 of our alumni work there. One of them is in the Netherlands and the other one is in Texas, right? And they've got offices all over the place. So, like, right? Who knew? And so, I just share little job opportunities as well, like list of co-ops. It's not too soon to work on co-ops. Again, the Career Center is supposed to help you with that too. So I'm really trying to use this as a resource for you to reach out to alumni and figure out, Henry is at Medtronic, right? And so you can reach out to Henry or Malika and say, hey, you're at Medtronic. How did you get there? Or you'll see, oh, Elizabeth Perry, she did an internship at Boston Scientific. How did she get that? And so then this can like help you kind of be nosy and stalk. I don't want to say stalk, right? But you can be nosy and you can like say, oh, look, person X is where I want to be. Let me reach out to that person to figure out how I can be like them and get to X as well. Okay. You can look for our alumni, figure out who's working at NASA, who started their own company, who's in California. So many people in California, who's in Boston, who's stayed in Texas, right? So just really use that opportunity and use the LinkedIn, use our website to really just help you, be prepared. Another thing to really keep in mind is that our degree plan is here and the link is broken. So I think it's still broken. Yeah, it's still broken. So this is not our degree plan, it's our flow chart. Anyway, right, but you can see like these are the classes you're supposed to take and the prereqs versus co-reqs, right? All of this should be available to you, okay? So when you have your meetings with me or with Ms. Boatwright, it doesn't need to be us telling you what classes to take. You know what classes to take. You can figure this out. Our meetings need to be, oh, hey, you know, I'm really interested in research. What does that look like? And then we'll have that conversation like, well, is there a disease model that you like? Or how are you with computing versus like, do you like the biology, the pipetting? What other opportunities are you looking for? When we're able to have those conversations, that's more meaningful and that's gonna really better impact you to be successful later on, okay? So that's basically my miniature how to, you know, really just prepare yourself and know what resources are available to you. You know, I'm here, Miss Boatwright's here to help you, but you really should try to think of us as fire extinguishers, right? So we're gonna help put out the fires when bad things happen, or we could be like trampolines, right? And so like you come with us with an idea and we just bounce you off into success, okay? So, okay, all right. So what questions do you guys have for me? I know some of you are interested in graduate school. Again, that would be a wonderful, I love talking about graduate school. That's something that I would love to talk about in our advising meetings as opposed to what classes to take, because you know what classes to take, right? It's on the internet. So, you know, oh, there's a question. Okay, advantage for doing a master's degree right after graduating or during the accelerated program compared to waiting a few years after graduating? Yeah, absolutely. So this is a great question. So essentially you're like, why should I do a master's? And what's the benefit of the accelerated master's versus waiting a few years and coming back? Okay, it's always easier to not quit school than to quit school, get a job and come back. I've done it, okay? It hurts. It's not impossible, but it hurts. When you finally graduate and when you're home, you're gonna be bored because there's no homework. It's this wonderful, amazing feeling, okay? And then you're gonna get used to that amazing feeling. You're gonna have hobbies again, and you're gonna be able to, you know, come home and, you know, cross stitch or make sourdough bread. And then if you do decide to go and get your master's and go back to graduate school, you're gonna have that homework again. And so that's gonna be an adjustment. Again, not impossible, it's an adjustment. Especially that's something to consider if you have a family, right? So when I went back for my PhD, I had a 2-year-old. I think she was 2, I don't remember. Okay, and so not only was I having to keep myself healthy, when she got sick, I wasn't in the lab, I wasn't collecting that data, I wasn't able to go to class, and so that was another thing that we had to juggle and just adapt. So the short answer of the benefit of doing the accelerated masters versus the normal masters after graduation is that it saves you about $2,800. So the accelerated masters program, and I have a talk on Friday about this too. Essentially, you can take 2 classes and it's going to count for 2 of your undergrad and 2 of your graduate. So you take 2 courses, but it's really like covering 4, but you only pay for 2. So you get 2 classes for free. And that's about $2,800. The master's degree is really going to show your employer that you can do hard things, right? As an engineer, you know how to problem solve, you know how to code, right? But with the master's, it's like you can do more in-depth things, you can do more challenging things. With a PhD, that's when you really think about, or I can identify the problem, I can solve it and write about it independently. And so I did the accelerated master's for my program because I had nothing else to do senior year other than capstone. And my program was different. I didn't get to double dip for my undergraduate program, for my accelerated master's, like y'all will get to do. I was just allowed to take graduate courses as an undergraduate. So it just saved me time. And so I was able to take those graduate courses and do my accelerated master's. I enjoyed that. I thought it was great. I then didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought a PhD meant that I would be stuck in an office writing grants. This was in 2008, and I had seen, or around 2008, and I'd seen what had happened when faculty and postdocs didn't get the grants. They lost their jobs and they packed up and had to become housewives or house dads. And so that kind of scared me, and I didn't really want to do that. But then when I started working at Wake Forest and I was meeting all these different PhDs, I figured out, the PhD, it's that way of thinking, that it's the training that I really wanted. And I wanted to have that independence to identify the problems and then solve it independently. And so that's what really pushed me to go for the PhD with a child. So, okay. Any other questions, Brian? Did I answer your question about masters?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then again, hopefully, if you have any other questions about the Accelerated Master's Program, I am having a small chat about it on Friday afternoon. So, all right, next question, Quinn. How do you find available research opportunities at UH? You basically ask me, and then you have to just approach the faculty. So, in 2020, a lot of faculty had to kick out the undergraduates because of physical distancing, like social distancing, and there just wasn't enough physical space for the graduate students. And since the graduate students have limited time here, they had to get priority, right? Things have changed. We're now from 6 feet to 3 feet. People know how to wear masks. We know how to keep things clean. We know how to keep ourselves well. So more and more faculty are accepting undergraduates into their lab. I know of 2 labs right now that are full, the Akai lab and Roe's lab. Roe is like physically full. But if you are interested in research, we do have on our awesome website that I've worked really hard on. Let me see if I can find it real quick. So if you just go to research, you can go to faculty expertise, right? And so you can say, oh, I love coding. Coding is so fun. And then you're going to go to the neural engineering tab. And then these are all of the neural engineering faculty. And so if you really like biomedical signal processing, you're going to go to Dr. NJ. And Dr. NJ is going to get to share with you all the exciting research that he's doing, with Parkinson's and going into the hospitals and getting the data and then analyzing it. And if that sounds like horrible nightmare to you, then you're going to go to the bio nanoscience side, and then you're going to go talk to Dr. Horton about how sickle cell is so exciting and how she's developing these body on a chip technologies. Or you can talk to Dr. Shevkopius. He's looking for students right now, and he looks at blood disorders and he does microfluidics. Nash and Ali Beatty, they have like patents on eye proteins. They discovered proteins, guys. Okay. And then they're doing a lot of wet lab things, et cetera, right? So, and then imaging is doing a lot of cool things too. It's just, there's not very many of them. So Dr. Zhang is doing some really exciting things. Laren does OCT. I didn't even know it existed before I came to the University of Houston, but they're really pretty colors. Okay, so his talks are always fascinating. And then Dr. Gifford is also doing a really cool collaborations, especially with physics. So he's doing a lot of different imaging modalities as well. And he may be even working on the project that's taking an X-ray and trying to determine if a tumor is malignant versus benign, right? So all of this, thank you, Sitwell. So all of this is something that I can shoot you an email, I can talk, or more importantly, you've got their information right here. Just shoot them an email. Okay, I know a lot of them are looking for students, especially Dr. May. She's actually back, and she's working on building up her lab again. Undergrad would be great. She's doing some really cool like tuberculosis things. Everybody's got a lab website, well, not everybody, several people have a lab website. And so you should be able to just reach out to them directly, okay? When you reach out to them though, don't send the same email, right? Don't say, dear doctor, I'm so excited about your research. Can we meet and talk about an undergraduate position? That ain't gonna work. No. When you email, we're gonna just use Dr. Rowe, even though Dr. Rowe's like physically full right now. Dear Dr. Rowe, so excited about your incredible stroke research. I think it's so exciting. Would you be willing to schedule a meeting with me to talk about any undergraduate research opportunities in your lab? My GPA is X, Y, and Z, and I've enclosed my resume for your review. Ta-da, right? It needs to be individual, it needs to be tailored, and it needs to be personal, right? Because you want to entice them to respond. So, all righty. Next question. Maureen, how likely is it for freshmen to get an internship next summer before sophomore year? Oh, that's hard. It really just depends on the internship. A lot of the internships that you will see are expecting you to have at least some coding experience, and you've only gotten through ENGI 1331 at that point, right? So you know how to open that lab and do a little project. Really, after biomedical processes with Dr. Shapopius, that's when you're really pushing yourself. You're really learning how to code properly. And so that's when, after your sophomore year, that's when you're really going to be more attractive to these internship programs. That being said, there are some internship programs that love freshmen, that love high school students. Lonza has a great summer program. I'm working with them, trying to entice them, remind them, hey, you guys, you should have co-ops in the fall and the spring. But they have a relatively new building in Pearland or Sugarland, one of the lands. I think it's Pearland. And they're still trying to get their footing with the pandemic and stuff. So hopefully in the next few years, they will actually be able to have co-op opportunities. But, in the summer, they might be a good option. So more hard than easy. That being said, not impossible. Okay. So, maybe after your freshman year, you just do research, or you knock out a couple of the core classes to lighten up your load. Okay. So next question. When do you recommend applying to the accelerated program? Excellent question. And I will discuss this on Friday as well. Really junior summer after junior year. Ooh, that's what it is. Or spring of junior year, right? So you want to be in a research lab if you're interested in the research. You should already be in a lab by the time you're a junior, have a project and be able to work on it the summer after your junior year and the summer after your senior year, and then hopefully graduate. If y'all are just showing up, okay, yes, do the sign-in form for Reagan, okay? Okay, link to sign in. All right, that was all of it, okay? All right, so any other questions? Okay, use each other, okay? Y'all are going to be your network that will help bounce you in the future, right? So some of my coworker or my classmates, they're at UT, right? So they're doing rehabilitation at University of Tennessee. Some of them, a lot of them went to medical school. So one of them's in San Francisco, another one's in Florida. So like your undergrad network is really going to go very broad. For your graduate, if you do decide to go that route, one of my classmates just started her own company and just was awarded $7.2 million in startup funds. Okay, so it's all about who you know, unfortunately, which is how I got my job, right? I didn't know anybody when I moved to Houston, but I happened to email Dr. Spillers beforehand. And again, professional development, good conversation. We were gonna go have lunch and just talk about it. And then I happened to say, hey, oh, by the way, it turns out I need a job. I thought I didn't need one, but I need one now. What do you have any suggestions going forward? And then that's how I got into the advising. But then when Dr. Spillers mentioned me to Dr. Akai, he was like, this is weird. Who's this girl? And he Googled me and he pulled up my LinkedIn profile and he noticed that I was connected with one of his dear friends who used to be at Rice, who was then at Duke, who is now the chair at BCU, right? So who you know and who you connect to matters. That being said, if you all go and connect with Matt Nakai right now, tonight, he is going to come at me and say, Dr. Waits, what did you say them? What did you tell them? Okay. Don't do Dr. Akai, right? He's too big right now. Y'all will be your own network. Y'all will be big eventually, right? Grow together, help each other out, okay? Y'all are the best line of defense against this pandemic, this craziness. So, okay. Okay, so yes, so Quinn also pointed out that there is an engineering career fair. In the past, there's only been 3 biomedical engineering companies. So again, it's something that I'm working with Janice on because that's not acceptable for us to be discriminated against like that. And so I'm doing what I can, but I cannot do her job. Right. The college has very strict standards, right? And so, you know, if you get upset at a faculty and you email the dean doesn't even read it. He just forwards it immediately to Dr. Akai. All right. So use your network and use the process. If you have an issue, you come to me. We try to resolve it. If we can't resolve it, then we go to the next step as well. Don't waste your time. Don't email the dean. Don't email Renew, right? It doesn't work well, okay? So, but yes, engineering career fair. It's always good to practice your elevator pitch. You know, when you're a freshman, don't take this the wrong way, but you don't really know a lot, right? And so it'll be a good like ice bucket water on your face. It's like just shocking you, but it'll be a good opportunity for you to see, okay, this is what other people are doing to be successful. This is what it means to look professional. This is how I talk to people, right? It'll be good for you to practice when you make eye contact, right? You make eye contact, you don't look at your feet like we're engineers and we're, you know, as we're supposed to be doing, right? So yes, engineering career fair, attend, have low expectations right now. Oh, Brian, there are tons of med tech companies in Houston, tons. It has exploded in the last 10 years, absolutely. Okay. It's a politic, but it's a political choice. So remember, Houston is the capital of gas and energy. And so that is where they have put their eggs and they are needing to shift. So we're working on it, okay? Okay. Also, internships. Going back to that freshman question, if you really want an internship as a freshman, don't expect them to pay you. Right? You can volunteer. You can ask for an unpaid internship, so that looks better on your resume than a volunteer. But then, yeah, the more internships that you can do, the more experience that you're going to get, the more attractive you're going to be when you do the job search. Okay. Oh, there's a group picture. Do I have to stay for the group picture?
Yep. Thank you. Woo.
Yeah, thank you all.
Right.
Stay safe, okay?
Thank you guys so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Hope you learned something. Remember, check out Dr. Waite's website. It will be your best friend. Also, if you're not in the group me, please join the group me. We have a lot of great conversations over there. Literally, you could ask any question. Someone has your answer. I promise.
That's true. I've used it before. I've sent students to the group me before.
Yes. Yeah. So don't, what's the word? Abuse the resource, use the resource. Please and thank you. But yeah, y'all have a good night. Thank you once more.
Yeah.
So much love. Can't wait to see what this semester brings us.
For sure.
We're excited.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Waits, again.
Thank you, Dr. Waite.